Hey family, this is the cast of Preacher Talk, and we're getting ready to go into another amazing episode. But first, we got to tell you about our incredible sponsor, the Seed Up brand, founder of the Hoop Triggers Plus app. That's what you hear in the background. That's why it's so churchy here. But guess what? Not only have all of us downloaded, but over 1.5 million people around the world have downloaded Seed Up brand apps. And that's a good reason why.
Churches and ministries and platforms all over the world has used this app to enhance their music ministries. If you don't have musicians, if you don't have singers, if you don't have those things that enhance worship, you need Hoop Triggers Plus to take you to the next level. It is a necessity for you to have it for your ministry and your different platforms.
Well, it's time to make a decision. Go and download Hoop Triggers Plus right now on the Google Play Store and on the Apple App Store. You can't wait. Go do it right now. It's time to do it.
And you have to do it now because the far-reaching impact of Hoop Triggers proves it's not just a fun app, but it's a necessary, serious tool that any ministry, any platform, any group can be blessed by. So go and download it right now.
That's right. You heard it. Go get it. We all have it. You need it. It's going to take your music ministry to another level. Let's go into the episode. Well, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice. And we will be glad in it. It is Monday night at 8 o'clock. And as you can see, we're here around the table. I need you to get your friends, get your people, get your circle leaders, and get everybody. Hit the share button, tag your friends, send it to everybody. We are here. And as you can see, the Lord has brought a wonderful change to the table. We were with him. We were blessed to have him with us a few weeks ago. And as the Lord would see fit, he has ordered his steps to come back around. I'm Pastor Mark Moore Jr. This is
Pastor Nathaniel Green Sr.
This is
Brandon and God. See, hold on, pause. When we do, I know you're new to this.
Oh my God!
But when we do that and God, you're supposed to and God with us.
So you got to pull back.
But your name is and God?
Yeah, and
It's his middle name.
And God Jacob.
It's his middle name.
A stands for and God.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
He hasn't watched the show.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, we could tell he's been very
Wow.
Okay, let's try it again to make sure you know. Come on, and this is Bishop.
And God.
No, you gotta wait till we get to the middle name.
One more time.
This is Bishop Brandon.
Okay,
right there. All right, and then they're gonna play that special music. That's my music.
Oh wow, you got your own music?
That's on music.
Everybody,
Courtesy of our sponsor, Hoop Triggers and the Seed Up brand.
Everybody has their own music. You're gonna get yours if you come a little bit more often. You're
on your way.
Right now,
Just
you get guests. You get guests.
I'm missionary. I'm missionary.
You get the regular applause. Yeah, that's right.
Ready? And we thank God for Bishop Brandon and God. There you go. He
announced
was a little
himself.
off, but you know
That works. That works.
Is that what you? So I'm supposed to say? And I thank God that we have Bishop.
It's middle names, so be careful.
No.
So what you-
Jacob's introduced himself.
That's what I was like.
Mark's going to throw it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, just
So when he throw it to you, you could add a little something special.
Jacob's jumped the gun a
a
little.
little razzle dazzle, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm Pastor Mark Moore. We're gonna run it back. Pastor Mark Moore. This is
Pastor Nathaniel Green.
Dallas, Texas, Grace Cathedral Church of God in Christ. This is Bishop Brandon,
And God. Jacob. You got it. See?
and then again, our brother from another mother is with us tonight. Can we celebrate Bishop S.Y. Younger?
Oh, is he nervous?
Hey, is that how Jacob's supposed to? You thought you was about to pray for him?
Oh, God.
Please go.
Bishop Younger, say hi to the people. We're moving.
What's your name? How you gonna do your name?
I'm the apostolic ambassador. That's why Younger.
All right.
I like it. He is the boss of Pentecost. Hallelujah. And then, of course, we've come up to a part of the service as the musicians play meta-creationally once again that everybody can participate in. This man of God has blessed us. Down through the weeks. Every week he brings us fresh manna. The Lord has anointed his mind with an inventive anointing. We know him all through the nations for his pellets. We know him for his preventative pastries. We know him for the silky beard enhancement oils. We know him for his anthill construction farms. We even were introduced to the visionary invention God gave him.
Biometric goggles.
The biometric goggles, because we
Youngest
see
trying
through a
to catch
glass
up. They see
darkly.
through.
Is that right? And he's been checking vitals all over the kingdom, getting the hearts of man ready, and checking vitals
Spiritually
all
and
over the kingdom, all of that. And so tonight he is with us once again. I want you to receive him as he comes in his own way. I want you to receive. If he wants to preach, let him preach. If he wants to prophesy, let him prophesy. We want him to have his way to flow as the Lord would see fit. Let's give God praise for Apostle Brandon Clack. Come on, let's celebrate him as he comes with another Clack fact.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Brandon Clack here. I am just overjoyed to be bringing you another product that I think is going to just completely enhance your life, change everything about you. And here it is. This, my friends, is no ordinary container.
My God.
This container has been endorsed by the one and only Bishop S.Y. Younger, and this container actually holds the shavings that come off of the head when it is shaved. These shavings, when they are stored in this container, can be nursed back to health for additional hair growth. This is the continuation of the silky beard.
So that's for the facial. This is for the.
You asked me for help with all of it.
Yeah. Well, I don't do help here. I need your help here.
Well, what we decided was if Bishop Younger would test out the product, shave, put the flakings that he would have gathered.
The flakings.
We then conceal it. It then grows, and then you can reattach.
So like a wig, is it going to be like a wig?
No. This is the reattachment.
Self-growth. How is it reattached though? Is it done piece by piece, follicle by follicle?
This is incubated with a certain type of soil, care, expectation.
Where does the soil come from?
Just from places. Don't do all that. I can't tell it all.
Places?
I can't tell it all.
Okay. How long does it take once you put it up there? Is there a ladder that comes with it as well?
You all could imagine with the intro of the music and that it was going to be a word from the. I am so thrown off right there.
That's okay.
Because when the music came in, I'm sitting there like,
hallelujah.
And he's a little thrown off because this works beyond his knowledge.
This is real.
But it's working for him. If you look closely, you can see the little gray follicles, the gray waves.
Yeah.
It's trendy right now, and the gray waves are slowly. And I'm telling y'all, Bishop Younger, he approves. He approves. Email me. Do not ask him.
Does it come with some of that anointing?
Well, no. This is not contingent upon the robe. The Lord did not include this. No, the Lord did not include.
I was going to ask, will a robe be included?
No. I can't guarantee
Like
that.
a shawl or nothing.
No. This is a shaving, a dumping, and a growing.
A shaving or what?
A shaving,
come about me.
a dumping, and a growing. And then we give it back to him, and then in his own private time, he applies gently.
Is it like a gel? It's like a paste?
No. It's not a
Gently.
paste.
So if
it
he
is
did
just a gentle massage. It's like an oil base.
Oil.
So if he was
Like
rough with it,
I thought y'all said we going to talk about the Bible.
There's your Clack fact right there.
Let's celebrate another Clack fact.
Thank you guys.
Wow.
Thank you, Bishop.
Just when you think he's out, he finds a way.
I'm telling you.
To find more revelation. What a gift.
We got
to
to
the
catch him
body.
up. We got to catch him up.
Someone hasn't been watching our show, but it's fine. It shows.
And God.
Wait a minute. That was the wrong time.
You gotta work on a time, and you gotta work on a time.
Yeah.
Wow. But we're talking about something that this is gonna be good, not only because all five of the brethren are together tonight.
Oh, God.
But this is gonna be good because we're talking about something it's already good. Here we go. We've been hearing your messages, we've been seeing the comments and the DMs, and we do want to address something as we always do from to the best of our ability, from a healthy Bible-based perspective for the purpose of providing clarity and insight. And we're talking about the R word tonight. Apostle Clack thought it would be a good idea. His partner in crime, Pastor Green, co-signed. And so we find ourselves.
I tried to help you.
Yeah.
But you let us get outvoted.
Yeah, we got outvoted. And so we're talking about the R word. Apostle Clack, do you want to take it from there?
Yeah, I'd love to. We're going to be really diving into the complexities and how to manage relationships from a married perspective. And then we've even got some single brothers as well that have had to manage that and steward that well in their, not just their respective offices, but just in just as men. And I really just want to pitch it honestly to Pastor Mark Moore. And I am eager to know, with all of the responsibilities that you have.
We have.
And God.
Oh, wow.
I'm here.
Oh, wow. Wasn't expecting that.
I'm here every Monday.
Yeah.
I think we should start with our
Bishop?
guest.
Oh,
I'm here all the time. Let's start with Bishop.
Bishop,
I know he's seen some sweet, like nice people for him. lately.
Bishop Younger, can you talk to us about the responsibilities and how you manage relationships? And
I want you to hear me in the spirit right now. I want you to catch me. Catch me in the spirit. All right? Please go ahead.
yeah. Can you talk to us just about how you handle relationships? Look what you did to him.
Oh, where's my music?
Go ahead, Jacobs. Go ahead.
You need the purge. That's what you need.
I want you to catch me in the spirit.
Can you talk to us about how you have handled relationships all of these years with all of your responsibilities and while you've been pastoring?
Well, first of all, ministry is all about relationships. I say all the time, you can't do ministry if you can't do people. And so individuals who always want to serve in church and serve in ministry, like, I don't do people. Well, you can't do ministry because ministry is managing relationships. Yeah. And so even when we look at the cradle of the New Testament church, they were in like a kibbutz community. They had all things coming. It was almost like socialistic. And it's one thing just to go to a church experience, but it's another thing to do life with people, right? So we're good with being a collector of people, but we fail badly at discipleship. Yeah. And we see that all through from marriage to singles with friendships. The Bible said it's not good for man to be alone. Mm-hmm. But why? Why is it not good for man to be alone? God says that looking at Adam, who Adam was walking with God. Mm-hmm. And God said it's not good for man to be alone. And I want to lift to you that when God said it's not good for man to be alone, it wasn't because Adam was lonely. The scripture does not say Adam was lonely. It says Adam was alone.
Yeah.
So why would God then say it's not good for Adam to be alone? Because of the assignment. We need relationships because of the assignment. I want to lift to you that even marriage itself is a ministry. It's not about your happiness.
Wow.
It's about your purpose.
I agree with that.
Because a lot of people then when they're not happy, they feel like it's an excuse to get a divorce. I'm just not happy. Well, it's not about your happiness. It's about God's purpose in the earth, right? That's what these relationships for. So how have I managed relationships? Mm-hmm. In the beginning, I failed enough times to learn some things, right, about relationships, learning proximity, that everyone who has a desire to have proximity to you, their desires should never be your obligation.
Wow.
Yeah. That's good.
Really good.
I'll let y'all jump in.
How do you filter who has proximity? I imagine there might be an internal checklist. How do you work through that as new people come in and out of your life?
Well, first of all, you have to make sure that you are not putting blood in shark-infested waters. So sometimes we're always bleeding out with our rhetoric. And then even pastors, sometimes we will quickly ordain people in our ministries to make up for people who left. Right?
That's good.
And so new people will come in and we will start letting them bypass other individuals without them actually being proven, not just to you, but among the people.
Wow.
Right? Because some people, they care about you, but they don't care about what you care about and who you care about. And so I've learned now, I walk people in slow so I don't have to run them out fast. Mm-hmm. I'm serious. I really, because early on I didn't. I would give people access to me very quickly. And sometimes when I felt betrayed by those individuals, I realized that some of those people were not demonic. It was an issue of capacity. That I put them in a place they didn't have the capacity for.
And I think you're talking to especially the danger of church planting. When you're church planting, you find yourself having to trust faster than you want to. But I think what you just said that's so liberating is that you don't have to trust faster than you need to.
Right.
You really need to slow down and let things wait and not force force people into a place just because the position is empty. Because the worst thing you could do is fill a void with the wrong person.
You gotta know them that labor among you.
I tell everybody in the beginning of a church plant, oh, this is just temporal. I just need you to serve in this capacity while we're getting our legs. So then when someone else comes, or I see they don't have the capacity for it, it lightens the feeling of rejection, because I told you from the beginning it wasn't permanent. You were filling a space until we could find somebody who was really called to it.
It's so important to set that expectation, because it's easy to get them in, but it can be hard to get them out.
Come on, man.
And
you find out you got the wrong person.
And when you remove them, you're not just removing a person. Depending on how
they're connected to.
Depending on how rooted they are in the house.
Boy.
You're uprooting areas, and I think that's why Jesus is very strategic, and he said, let the wheat and tare grow together, because if you uproot too soon, you're going to uproot more than the tare.
Yes.
Bishop Younger said that sometimes we ordain fast because we have to get someone out. There's a void there. What would you say to the single people in your church who are just fresh off of a breakup and are engrafting in dating relationships maybe too fast? What would be to everyone, what would be some of the things that you all would counsel and say? Because there's somebody watching right now, they're hitting the share button, and there's somebody watching and saying, I wish I just knew how to manage the pace of recovering from a breakup. What would you all say to that?
It's not fair to the next person that you try to use them for your healing.
Absolutely.
It's not fair. And when you're hurting, you don't choose well.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think that's what has happened with this opioid addiction. Having accessibility to someone to fill that space causes you to latch on to people who are not your promise, but you're using them for your comfort.
Well, you're choosing what's familiar.
Yes.
Even if it's dysfunction, because it is familiar.
So true.
I've chosen it again.
Absolutely.
And this is why you see the cycle in your life. So sometimes you need to detox from that. If it didn't work, you need to detox from it. Take some time away.
Yeah.
What would you say a person in ministry is looking for or in need of when it comes to a relationship, someone single in ministry? What do they need?
Well, I'm going to tell you, first of all, you have to know the difference between discretion and being secretive. I always tell somebody, because I know too many preachers who have secret relationships. And then young women feel used.
Wow.
Right? So I think it needs to be we need to articulate our expectations. Let's articulate what this is. Now, I'm not taking you out in public, not because I'm trying to keep you a secret. It's that I'm trying to use discretion. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Because
I don't want to be seen as someone just dating,
Right.
Because if this doesn't work, well,
I want to get to know you. And if it does not work, it'll be easier for you to recover in secret than it would be in public. Because bringing someone in public is actually affirming them in front of everybody.
Yeah, it says, and I wish that the church would learn this. And this is not just for the pastors. This is for those in ministry. If you're leading in ministry and you're dating a person, it's not for the public to know.
Yes.
Because if this doesn't work, it can tarnish your ministry.
You don't have the same grace that everyone else has.
Yep.
You don't have a reputation.
As a guest preacher, as a young preacher, you don't go out saying, "Oh, and I'm thankful that my girlfriend is here with me tonight."
No.
Do not do that.
Your girlfriend? No, ma'am, no sir.
Oh, your wife.
And it's gonna make you lose respect. And it ain't just young male preachers; it's female preachers. It's just bad. You have to be careful how you date before the people, male or female, because it can make people lose respect. You know what I mean? And there's just some things that's not for people to see.
Mark, how would you advise someone in your church that's dating so that they don't make an individual feel like they're hiding them? How would you? What kind of verbiage would you say? Because I think Bishop Younger brings up a great point. It's I'm not trying to brush you under the rug, but I've got to use discretion. What would be something you would say to that?
I think that it's important that we remember that clear communication rebukes confusion, so to speak. And that I think, as Bishop said, if you go into it upfront and honest and clear on what this is, what it's not, then I think that makes that conversation, the next part of that conversation, easier to have. Well, listen, the way or the reason that we're moving like this is because of the assignment, of the purpose, of the calling. I don't want to be a stumbling block for anybody, And then I think you have to give that person, that party, an opportunity, number one, see how they respond to that. Because sometimes the response is all the indicate. You know what? We don't have to. We don't have to go out. If you don't understand the fact that I don't just belong to me, I belong to these people. I belong to this ministry. I belong to the nation, depending on whoever, what your case is. If you can't understand that now, do I really need to waste time?
Nope.
Trying to date? Because God forbid I force myself to see what I want to see because you so fine or you so whatever. And now we're at the point of getting married. You done tore my church up now. Because now I'm having to deal with why was she all up in your face? First of all, Mother Johnson has hip removal surgery tomorrow. She asked her pastor to pray for her at the altar in front of everybody.
Yeah. Wow, man.
Along with her grandkids. Why you? I ain't like the way she was looking at. She got cataracts.
Oh my!
She couldn't even see me.
Yeah.
But you don't have the, back to that word, capacity to maybe understand or have, and so I think that it has to be clear communication up front. Now, this is not coming from a place of mastery. This is a perspective that has evolved as we mature. When I was a child, I acted as a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things. So
if you marry the wrong person,
Talk about it, Jacobs.
the type of discomfort is going to bring in ministry is going to be horrible. And I thank God for my wife, who is just amazing in understanding ministry and assignment. And I'll never forget when we started dating, she was more like, I'm not trying to be a church fan, so I'm not about to be coming up in here wearing special outfits when you preach. My wife would not even support me preaching out. She said, because I'm not about to be that wait in the car for you to come out or sitting around waiting. She said, no, I'm not that. She said, I'm a woman of God. I have my own purpose. I have my own destiny. You go preach. I will not be coming until I'm your wife or your fiance.
Wow. That's
so
good.
My wife never.
How did that hit you? What did that say
It
to
made
you?
me respect her.
Yeah.
Wow. My respect for her went on a whole nother level. And when she would visit, she would sit at the back of the church. She would sit at the back of the church. She would come late and she would leave early. And her thing was, I'm only coming. Matter of fact, she only visited twice while we were dating. And the third time, I forced her to come because it was my pastoral anniversary because I was going to propose.
Wow.
And so when I coerced her to come, like, you got to come. New Zion had kind of recognized her from coming and knowing my type. And it was rumored like, that little girl that be visiting every now and then. You know what I mean? And so, then we proposed. And they had to push her to the front of the church when she finally became my fiance. But she was very no nonsense. Like, I'm not here for that. I'm not about to be, pulled around and all that. I have my own church. I have my own pastor. I have my own ministries I'm a part of. And my wife was a registered nurse. Well, is a registered nurse.
So what advice will you give a young lady that's maybe dating a preacher then?
I would give her the advice, number two, one things. Don't be married before you're married.
That's good.
That's good.
Meaning, don't start trying to walk around being a first lady and all that other
You
kind
got
of
an armor
stuff.
bear.
Because you don't know what this man is getting ready to do or where he's getting ready to go.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to learn to trust him in his assignment, and I would not allow him or her to drag you along. And my wife demanded respect from me concerning that. And she was like, I love you. I'm praying for you. You can call me as soon as you get out of church. I want to know how you did. But she was big on, I'm just not getting ready to be that church girl that's, up in your face, while you're preaching. And I know I'm only the girlfriend of you. She said, I'm too grown to be, we talking. I'm too grown to be, if we are dating for marriage, and that's exactly what this is going to be. And she really sobered me to that. So, the day I met her, I told her I was going to marry her. The day we met.
Wow.
And from that, she said, well, you're going to have to prove that. And so she really made it. She was really, I had to beg her to come to stuff. I had to beg her. And then she would come with a whole row of friends. And, they'd be sitting like, girl, shoot. You could get a man with a bigger church than that.
Lady V was prophetic, though. Hey,
But
she saw you in the future.
I was just about to say, and I'm sure you saw something in her.
Absolutely.
That even though she wasn't willing to be as present while she was just your girlfriend, you still saw something in her concerning where you were going.
That actually made me respect her.
Yeah.
It took the way I viewed her on a whole nother level, because she just was not for the nonsense. And she's like, I've seen the preacher girlfriend thing, and I'm not about to be your fan.
And how wise of her.
Yeah, and I thank God.
And I want to say this too, on the flip side, to men who are in ministry and looking to get married, it concerns me, the guys who often say, well, I'm marrying for me. I ain't marrying for my ministry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think you have to keep in mind, yes, I need somebody for me. But when I married my wife, Kenesha Green, I married with my future in mind.
Yeah.
I'm married with what I'm doing now in mind and the things that I desire to do later in life in mind. And I think a lot of guys don't take that into consideration. I'm not just looking for somebody that I can have fun with in the bed.
Yeah, you're right, and you're right, and I'm glad you said that and put that in perspective. But I want you to know I have said that too, and I've said that from this perspective.
Well, okay.
I'm a little older now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I've given my best years of my youth to the church and the ministry.
Right.
I don't desire a first lady.
Okay,
I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah, talk about that, because I do have
I've already
an interesting view on that.
I've already built ministries.
But you want a poised lady, don't
Yes,
you?
I want to. Oh no, definitely.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
But I want a poised lady for me.
If he was a doctor, he would want a poised lady. If he was a school teacher, he would. So to your point, though, I hear what you're saying. I'm not marrying for me. I'm marrying for my purpose. Da da da. But your purpose, your calling, what you're doing now, what you're going to do, that's you. That's still you. So even in making that selection, I need somebody that can fit where I'm going. That's still marrying for you. What I think and when I hear when people do the whole I'm not marrying for the church, I'm marrying for me, I resonate with that, similar to my brother's point, because I've seen preachers that married somebody because she fit a model and they worked well on Sunday morning, but they couldn't stand each other when church was. We don't like the same music. We don't have the same sense of humor. We don't laugh at the same things. We don't have the same taste. We have different backgrounds that are not compatible. Now, we kill a flyer together. We look great. We look great on the billboard. We look great. We match, but we don't fit. Now, and not to be negative, but now you end up with the void, and now you're open because you're unfulfilled. Y'all look good, but when the service, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
You're going to have a void if that's all that you're looking for. Right. There has to be balance, because at the end of the day, you might not pastor forever, but the caliber of man that you are, that's not going to change. So I want somebody who, yes, can be my wife when there is no crowd, there is no audience, there is no platform, but I also want somebody who has a certain level of poise, who has a certain level of class, who, you know what I'm saying, who can be with me no matter what.
But I want that class for me, though. I don't need her to come to church and the people vote on if we think she's a good first lady compared to this one and this one and this one. I gotta live with her. When we leave this church, we going home to each other. So I have to be.
But I imagine,
Mark,
live
with her too.
You wouldn't want to have to force her to come to church on Sundays.
Yeah.
But go back to what I said a moment ago. That's a personal thing for me too. That's part of my preference.
Can I add something to it?
Yeah.
Let me go from my perspective. When I think you just really have to be led of the Lord. I know that sounds real deep. When I met Vivian, she was none of what she is today. A young preacher said, I want to marry a wife like Lady V. And I said, what you better understand about Lady V is the Lady V you see today was none of that. And I told her, I'm never trying to make you a first lady.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I need you to just be a good wife that's going to pray for me and love my children. And I need you to love New Zion. If you never wear a big hat, I'm okay. If you never, my wife would sometime when we first got married, she would come to church in her scrubs because she was a registered nurse. And my wife in the beginning, and a lot of people don't notice about her, but my wife had this thing about church and the church doing for us. And My wife never liked anniversaries because she didn't like, my wife went to work. She's like, I got a job, I have an education. I'm not used to people being up there like, let's love on our leader, let's love on our pastor. She hated it. She's like, because I'm not for that. So like getting dressed for people or doing certain things, she just had this thing like, I just want to come to church. I want to love God. I want to love you, and I want to support you. And that was her mindset. I was pleased with her loving me enough to just support me.
That's all I'm getting at.
And I agree with you.
Because my wife is very much the same. My wife's a powerful woman of God, anointed woman of God. My wife is also very shy.
Yeah.
And since we've been married, she's really come out of her shell to the glory of God.
Yeah. The union does it. You said, because when people see Vivian preaching, when my wife first came, she was sitting on that little roll like, all right. And she come from CCM Church.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Hour 15 out of there.
From CCM to the First Lady of New Zion.
Do you hear me? She was none of that. And I promised her I would not make her be any of it. You could never told me she was going to be this. I loved her for her, and I just supported her in that. And God took her through us developing and made her this evangelist, this preacher, this woman who loved wearing hats,
But she would have never become
I was okay with that.
I realized my pastor, Bishop Hall, I grew up under a pastor with his wife. When we started our organization, we made her the international women's president. And 1 year in, she said, if it's okay with you, I would like not to be this, because it's not who I am.
Yeah.
She doesn't wear hats. And at our home church, if you would look for her, you wouldn't find her on the second row. She was behind the camera. And Bishop Hall loved her just because,
That's really,
so I definitely get what y'all saying. And I think sometimes we say things out of our experiences, and like you're saying out of your experience. And I think as out of my own personal experience, the reason why I say it's layered.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the beginning of the church, I sacrificed my own personal relationship for the sake of the growth of the church. And so the young lady I wanted to marry, she said to me, when I said, let's get married, she says, marrying you would be a life of sacrifice. I know I can do it. I'm not sure I want to do it.
Sure.
So now, and I appreciate, I honor her to this, and we're still really close today. The only challenge is now I'm at this season of my life. And I said, okay, I didn't build churches. I didn't grow churches. I didn't do school. I did missions. I'm okay if I marry somebody who makes me feel at home, makes me feel supported, and they do nothing. They love the church, but they can have their own practice.
And I want to clarify something. When I mention marrying for and considering where you're going, I'm not saying that she has to be somebody who's going to stand on the stage and preach like you and be a voice like you.
I think we're saying the same thing.
But she does need to have a grace
we are too.
for you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think
because we're all very busy.
I think we're saying the same thing in a different way, and that's what I was really trying to get to.
Well, let us say this then, because we're talking about relationships. We're talking about marriage, and we're talking about single people trying to get married.
Right.
But we're talking about relationships. And I think sometime in church, we go from our goals is to get saved, and the next goal is to get married, right?
Yeah.
And we end up leaving out a whole demographic of the church who feel unfulfilled and feel unseen and unvalidated until I didn't got saved, but now I got to get married. And we just got to talk about the fact that there's a large demographic of believers in our church that will never get married. Wow. And so what does relationships look like
for them?
Yeah. And then you have the issues of people, they are so manipulative in trying to get to that next goal of getting married that they have never had good platonic relationships.
Yeah.
Because everything has been, what do I look like to the men, or what do I look like to the girls? And everything is maneuvering those relationships. And
so good.
To the point, then you get married, you don't know how to be a friend to your spouse because you've never been a friend.
That's true. Or you've been so everything has been all about you.
Yes.
And you've never had to humble yourself to meet them where they were. And going back to, that was my biggest thing with Vivian. I just want to love you, and I just want you to love me. I ain't trying to make you nothing. And as you evolve, I support. You could have never told those who knew her in the beginning of New Zion Temple she would be what she is today.
Right.
You couldn't tell. Evangelists used to, or prophets would come and say, "There's a word in your belly, sandalabaha," and she'd be like, "It must be another baby, because I don't feel nothing." And so we walked in disagreement of that probably for about 3 years. She was like, "Wow, I don't want that." I think that there's something within you and your oneness that begins to evolve within you all that brings you all to a place. But I think you just said something that's so powerful, because I needed help in my marriage to be a friend, because I never thought I was a great friend. Meaning I was friends with my family.
Yeah.
Wow.
You understand?
Good.
I had friends, but my friend was my brother, my cousins. Our family's so big that we were the friends. Yeah. So I often was a bad friend. Like, oh, I forgot you.
So then, how do we help people discover there? Because, like Pastor Moore, your church is here in Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
You all have churches and hubs now,
Yeah.
where people are moving to regions, moving to areas, and they're going to battle loneliness, coming to church, having a church experience. After church is over, everybody goes 1,000 different ways. How do we help people navigate to find their tribe within the church and to foster relationships? What are we doing to help
That's good.
people get connected?
Yeah, I think the first thing we got to do is communicate what safety looks like.
Okay.
If we start planting people in nucleus circles and relational contexts that aren't safe, at some point there'll be all kind of pain and panic attacks. And so I think we got to communicate and define what safety looks like, so that people can grow and evolve organically, because that microphone is wearing
I don't know if they can hear that
God
at
out.
That thing broke wind a second ago. Yeah, I heard it.
And Marcus said, we're trying to lead me like,
He is trying to help
Tighten
you.
the thing.
Tighten it up, that.
I hear you. I hear you. I think that
It ain't working.
promoting the idea on one level, I think we have to emphasize. It's all right. We have to emphasize.
What a distraction he is, isn't he?
Here, I'm gonna mute it so you can jumble and get where you need to go.
Oh my God.
that works as well. I think that we have to, number one, in creating those.
Hey, man.
you told me to work on it.
I need to acknowledge something, Mark. It has dawned on me. Brandon Jacobs is the biggest distraction on every podcast.
episode.
It's a little snicker.
Yeah.
It's a ho-ho.
Yep.
It's an attacked mic.
You should have called me.
Knocking over coffee.
You should have called me.
You've known this.
I'm the eagle eye at this table. I could have told y'all before the podcast got together. I knew he was going.
He's always into something.
Always into something.
He can't help it.
Look at it.
Consistent.
I would have been better.
Oh, you just fix your mic first.
I would have been better if you would have just gave me the prophecy.
That was not for you.
When them hands went up.
Mark, what were you going to say? I want to hear this.
Who knows? At this point, it's gone.
You distracted him, Brandon.
Well,
Clack.
let's just say this. Healthy churches are made up of healthy families.
So good.
Yeah.
Healthy families are made up of healthy marriages, but healthy marriages are made up of healthy people.
Yes, sir.
And I think sometimes we put a lot of energy, like having this conversation about relationships. What we don't realize, some people don't have the principles of relationship that we've been taught. Yeah. We think that everybody knows. Even we need another book of not another book of Proverbs. We need a modern book of Proverbs in conversations with people about friendship. I teach at our church things that's simple that make sense to me that other people don't know. Hey, if someone opens their house and lets you stay with them and you sleeping on the sofa, when they get up, you get up.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And
It shouldn't be a dish in
when
that
you're
sink.
using their dishes, you don't just wash your dish, you wash theirs. And when they come in, you hand them the remote control. You know, like
Don't sit in their
Just
chair.
common nice things.
Yeah.
Just common appreciative things.
I want to ask this question though. I love what you just stated about what a healthy community looks like. But what do you do, and this is for a pastor who may have some in his church or her church, some pockets of toxic people, and you're trying to protect new people that are coming into your church from being affected by these toxic pockets?
I say it all the time. It's okay to warn new believers about old saints.
That's good.
It is okay. And now the only issue is if you warn them, you got to stand by it.
Yeah.
It
That's
is okay.
biblical.
Yeah, you
Mark
got to
them.
stand. You mark them.
Yeah.
You
What do
mark
you
So
do
what is
when that
But you just can't mark them and say stay away from them. What I do, oftentimes I don't say stay away from them. I give them someone to connect with.
Yeah.
It's already somebody new coming in the environment and they're already looking like, where do I fit? Who is who? And you look at them and say, hey, don't be around them. They're like, oh, so there are people not to be around?
Right.
Then they're like, you know what? I just
How
signed up
much
for this.
energy goes into attempting to fix the offended marked people? Because once someone gets marked, they're going to start to realize I'm not getting a chance to get my venom on anyone. Who told you I was marked?
So you took the words right out of my mouth. I get protecting those individuals, but my accountability as a pastor is now I need to still address these
Holy confrontation.
snakes that are in the house.
Holy confrontation. But the truth is, when the spirit of offense has someone, it affects their senses. It affects their hearing and their eyesight. So they'll read something and it's automatically against them.
Or hear a
They'll
sermon.
hear something
Yep.
and you said one thing. But
Are you offended people listening? Say that again, please.
Right, yeah. They'll hear something and you'll say one thing to them and they'll interpret it a whole different way. That's why I always tell Bishop Jacobs,
That's
don't
good.
translate for me.
I have to translate for younger because
No, I'm serious. And when it comes to those individuals, you do have to, in the best way, isolate them from new converts.
Yeah.
But you have to show them love.
Wow.
Like the leader, because seasoned leaders, mature leaders can handle interaction with them.
That's right.
We're protecting the vulnerable, but we got to, the blood will never flow in the body if we stop moving it.
Yeah.
That limb, we have to continue to massage it. But there are holy confrontational conversations. They have to know that they're exposed.
That's good.
I see you.
and but we also have to speak to Bishop, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. That is a hard thing to do, and that is a hard thing to do, and expect those people to receive it, especially if the person who is causing the disrupt or the disturbance cannot receive it or have the ear or the heart to receive it, which only will cause them to act out even the more. Because I'm going to tell you the most hard thing is when that toxic person gets in leadership and you don't see how toxic they are until
Come on, Jacobs.
Buddy.
they are already in leadership. And now you got to figure out how do you maneuver and set things in order, because they're so high with so much influence but yet so toxic and so manipulative. You got to figure out how do we do this the right way. And I want to say this to a pastor that's listening: you got to move in wisdom.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, you cannot, hear us, but hear us with wisdom. Know your house, know what you're dealing with, know where you are, be prayerful. Bishop Younger is at a place where he's the founder. You know what I mean? There's a level of authority that he has
That's right.
that you may not have in the church. You may be a new pastor, you may have just gotten in there, and you may not have the in reach that a Bishop Younger has. So you really got to be prayerful about that. You can't go in there and say, Sister so-and-so over here who's
right.
been there longer than you.
Because
you know?
Jacobs, most disruptors don't leave until they feel like they've cleared their name.
Absolutely.
So you can confront and you should have grace-filled confrontation to bring resolve and exposure. And I see you.
Grace-filled
Yeah.
confrontation.
Yes, sir. I believe that. But most of them aren't going to just pack up, I apologize, I'm going to leave and never hurt this thing again. No. They're going to keep their tentacles in that thing until they feel a certain level of restitution.
Let me tell you, Bishop Kenneth Moe Sr. told me this years ago. He said, when you find your head in the mouth of a lion, you have to pull it out slow. Because, snatching it is going to cost you.
Oh yeah, it's gonna yeah, because his jaw gonna move faster than your move.
Come on.
And I'm gonna tell you, we have to be careful. We have to use a lot of godly wisdom with that, because and even if they leave, their nails are so sharp and long, they're gonna leave. Their face gonna leave, but their claws gonna stay.
Come on.
And so you have to be careful.
But this is why confrontation and with wisdom is necessary. And when I say confrontation, and I taught a class on what healthy confrontation looks like, because for us, confrontation automatically sounds aggressive, right? But the reason why a certain level of confrontation is necessary is because, especially if they're in leadership, your leadership comes under question with their dealings.
Brother Young.
And if you don't say anything, you become complicit.
Yeah,
and whatever you put on the platform, you will duplicate in the pew.
Yes. Yes.
And so those are conversations. And when I have those conversations, I bring people in the room and I give people the out.
Yeah.
I give them an optional answer that leaves them a greater ability to recover. Yeah. So I said, this was said. Someone shared with me that you said this, and I told them what you probably was considering.
You're giving them an out.
Because sometimes we confront people in such a way, and especially
You corner them.
Yeah, you corner them, and they got to fight their way out.
That's right.
Yeah, to prove themselves.
No, I give them, when you say grace-filled confrontation, I give people that grace, but I know anything. This is what happened with Saul. Saul left Agag alive overnight.
Yeah.
Samuel comes in and stabs him because Saul left him alive overnight. We trying to find out, how do we get to the book of Esther? And Agag has a descendant that's coming up, Haman, who's coming up against the Jews.
Yes.
Where does he come from? Because all of them were killed except the king Agag.
Yeah.
And the Jewish sages says when Agag was left alive overnight, he raped a maiden.
Jesus.
And when she left, she had a baby, and from that baby, she taught that baby who her father was. See, what happens is, if we leave stuff alive and moving in our church and conversations going too long, you're going to birth the enemy of your ministry's future.
Talk, man.
You gotta confront
That's
that
so
thing.
good. And if you don't confront, when you do confront it, you'll be surprised how much buy-in you'd get from people who have been waiting for you as a leader just to make a move.
I was wondering if Pastor,
how did you not see
Pastor see this and not, why he ain't saying
The
nothing?
people in pain always want to know, did you play a part in this?
Yeah.
Right. By letting them
it brings into question our credibility.
Very true.
Then the question becomes, well, are you benefiting from them being in this role?
And I don't like it. I would rather just preach and teach. I don't like meetings.
I don't like it. It's exhausting.
It's true.
To all y'all that
That's why I said, Pastor, and all of you, all they want a pastor, and people feel a passionate pastor. It's 10% preaching.
It's so true.
You're putting out fires. You got to be a solutionist
Every week.
and it can become very overwhelming. And you have to really use the wisdom of God, because every fire is different. Some fires take water. Some fires take a cover to cover up, and some fires you got to blow out.
This is why you got to be careful, because we talking about relationships. You can go after the corporate, and they're entwined.
Yeah, absolutely.
With some innocent bystanders.
Now you got casualties.
Yes.
That are watching on the roadside.
But this is another reason why the pastor has to make sure that as they go through that church, they stay clean.
Yeah.
Keep the sheep out of your sheets.
Yeah.
Don't get too common with them.
Listen.
Because it's difficult to correct devils that you lay with.
Yes.
It's difficult to correct them. It's difficult to address them when you play with them.
Right.
Come on.
You can't do that. There's a certain level of distance. You have to be with them enough to feel what's going on in their lives, but apart from them, enough for them to respect you and honor you as their leader.
That's why so many prophets are in the cave.
This is why I think, though, that those leaders, because you're right, those leaders need some kind of manual, instruction, conversation, mentor, pastor, whatever, to help them walk through. I got real desires, and if you don't help me, I don't want to mess up something in my church that can cost me. I wonder, how do you reach beyond the pride? I'm asking, you all can answer. How do you reach beyond the pride of someone that needs help, but they have not or will not ask for it?
Or they're too rebellious to receive it.
Come on, Jacob.
Ain't about even knowing and not going to ask.
Yeah.
They're just too rebellious to even receive it. And sometimes the rebellion won't allow them to receive it from the leader. I mean, you made a statement that was so powerful weeks and weeks ago about those who leave the church and then go to another one and post about how great that one is.
So good.
But then how about those who stay but let their rebellion be loud,
Lord Jesus,
and refuse to receive the help that they need, and it just becomes a seed of rebellion.
Yeah, that's so true.
They want to hurt your influence because you hurt theirs.
Yeah.
That's like payback.
Yeah.
I'm processing. This is good. This is.
It was a holy
I
pause
have about three people that came up in my mind.
Okay, Mark. He always has a moment.
And we
I
got
thought he was looking a little too intently into the sky.
I'm processing. I mean, this is so helpful because again, relationships are the currency. Excuse me.
It's okay.
Relationships are right. I'm not crying.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I'm tired of this.
You tired of what?
I'm sick. I'm just enough is enough. That's all I'm saying. No, but relationships are the currency of the kingdom. Thank you, Bishop. All right, you ain't gonna make the face. Not too much now. Not too much. Relationships are the currency of the kingdom. I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And as we go back to kind of how we started, it's impossible for us to ask God to increase our territory, increase our membership, increase our reach, our influence, without also expecting Him to make us more emotionally sensitive. I think that in the church, one of the hidden, not nearly emphasized as much as it should be, traits that we need to be pushing for in our leaders and certainly within ourselves is emotional intelligence. Some of us were raised in context in the church, meant well, did the best that they could, taught the best that they could, but they only had one tool. They only had one. It was a hammer.
Yeah.
I handled all of my situations with the same hammer, and some situations don't need a hammer; they need a scalpel.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a pistol. I heard Bishop Jake say, every pastor has to have a pistol and a prescription. You got to know what to kill and you got to know what to heal. And when we come from spaces where there's only one response, it's always some conversations can be over the pulpit.
Come on,
Absolutely.
man.
Now, some of us come from spaces where everything was addressed
Right.
over the pulpit. It was reported to me, so-and-so said, Well, as we grow, though, emotional intelligence has to bring us to a point where we realize now you all are parents, so you all know, I've heard it said, I've seen it even with my own parents, with my siblings, you can't even parent every child the same way.
So true.
Some children you look at and tears start flowing. Now you know better.
Yep.
Some child, all you say is I'm disappointed in you, and oh God, it's the end of the world. Others, you gotta shake a little bit.
Which one were y'all? You had to get whooped then.
Yo, you get to shake it.
Really? You'd be surprised. I mean, I've got my share of whooping.
That's his family.
He's got a tender heart though.
Nate, you had to be shaken as well.
No, I can count
Now,
on
younger,
both
I was
hands how many
very-
whippings I got in my life.
When I was younger, I was
a
more
good child.
rebellious in my youth.
Yeah.
But as I got older,
Yeah.
I was a good child.
But emotional intelligence as a leader lets you know I can't. And now this is where sometimes, and I'm a young pastor, but I'm already saying, you got to be careful because sometimes when things happen and they're more public, you got to be careful because
I was waiting for you to touch that.
somebody's keeping score. Now, how come when so and so messed up that ABC, they got to keep singing in the choir, and how come when I did ABC 1 2 3?
That's because they judging the decisions you made.
Yes, sir.
They don't know the information you have.
You don't have the you don't know the backstory.
Can we pause here and really put that in perspective for every member that's listening?
Right.
Because members love to judge the pastoral heart and leadership of the leader.
No idea of the facts.
And they have no idea of the meetings.
Yeah.
They have no idea how many people are being ministered to or, set down, for lack of a better phrase. And you really don't know what's going on. But because you are judging what you see and not what you know.
You think it's favoritism.
Yeah, you think it's favoritism, or you think Bishop ain't handling it.
Yeah.
When you really don't know how involved Bishop is to handle it, it just ain't your business.
Yeah. Exactly.
And just like I covered you and kept your business, and didn't share that with nobody, the way I'm dealing with them is their business. I'm not sharing that with anyone.
That's the difficult part of pastoring, covering the guilty.
It is.
Yeah.
That's the difficult part, Doug.
The Bible says God has given unto us the ministry of reconciliation, though. And some people, when it's not them, they don't want reconciliation. They want revenge.
Plus, people love reports on justice.
Yeah.
Keep me updated.
They love reports on justice in the cases of others.
Very true.
Mercy. All have fallen. All have sinned. Come show the glory of God. When it's me, when it's you, the wages of sin are death.
Yeah.
And so I think that back to the emotional intelligence piece, though, you got to know how to who has the tensile strength to handle. Hey, don't do that no more. There's some people. Hey, don't ever do that again. And Pastor, you know what? Then there are others. If you don't ever do that again, they're on suicide. I don't make light of that. I'm with you. It's the end of the world. And so I think that in the relationship context, we've got to ask the Lord to give us a healthier dose of emotional intelligence, knowing how to handle who to handle this way. Because I think a lot of people have been broken and hurt from ministers and pastors that meant well, but they were emotionally unintelligent.
There's no cookie cutter method for disciplining people.
Yeah,
it's different for everybody because the circumstances are always different. I do believe that there may be moments that there are some things, depending upon how far spread it has reached, that may need to be dealt with over the pulpit with tact.
Absolutely.
And wisdom. And then there are some things you have to deal with behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
There's some people. I had a guy one time, man. I can't say
what he do. No,
I really can't say. It was horrible, and I had to sit him down for an extended period of time, and he didn't like it and left, which I was fine with. But I was like, no, for me to put you back up as early as I have restored others who have been guilty of sin, that thing you committed, if the saints knew, their children wouldn't feel safe. Their spouses wouldn't feel safe. You gonna sit right there in the back. Just stay right there and get a little bit more Jesus, and I'll let you know when it's time.
Yeah, we don't know the back. We don't put enough emphasis on the backstory,
and it's a hard thing. And I think
you talked about this before.
Yeah, I think sitting down for us is a time of consecration. It's a time to let's.
I've
really
stolen that from you.
Yeah. Let's look at what we've done. Let's put some study to it. Let's disciple through this moment. Let me love you through it, because a lot of times if you only sit down with no remedy of restoration, because what is restoration? Is it to sit down for 3 months and just get back up? Or do we
Has your heart changed?
Has your heart changed? And I think that's the time to really deal with heart check. Let's fast through this. Let's pray through this. Let's minister through this, so that when you are restored, you also function in the posture of restoration. Good. You know, you look different. You behave different. God has brought about a change. But if we're only going to sit you down and not really deal with the issue, then that's a danger.
Yeah, I got a question for all of you. Have you ever been in a situation where you, with love, corrected someone, the narrative got twisted completely? How did you all, number one, respond to that breaking of the heart, that brokenness when you meant well and it turned on you? And then how did you handle the individual?
Tried not to chop them down. Because they always chop them. They're gonna misrepresent you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you,
people that are committed to finding offense will never not see it.
Oh God.
People that are committed.
But what I'm saying is, how did you all recover from the? I loved you through that.
We live the life of being abused from misunderstanding of our decisions.
Yeah.
And you almost get numb to it. For me, you almost expect that this decision, whether good or bad, is going to come with some repercussions. And I have to just prepare my heart for the immaturity of those that I'm leading to not understand.
Wow.
And to love them through it, and hope that there's a door of opportunity to come that I can really minister and reveal my heart and explain this is where I was and this is where I am, because I'm learning. I thank God for Archbishop William Hudson III, who helps me to understand, son, you're the leader. You're the pastor. You have to be able to lead, and they not understand you all the time. And you got to be okay with it, and you got to be okay with knowing that when they don't understand, they're going to get in their groups and they're going to talk about, did you hear what Bishop did? Did you, he did this, he said this. And I'm going to tell you what cracks me up, because it gets back to you.
Always.
And when it gets back to you, the narrative is always twisted.
Always.
And you know what cracks me up? The people that bring it to you, like, I can't believe you did so and so.
Right.
And it's like I expected you to know my heart too.
Right.
So not only the person that was the recipient of what I've done, but now that you've shared what was done, I'm talking about in leadership, godly things as a leader. When you shared the offense with another member, I would have expected that member to minister maturity to you as well.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, they function and celebrate the confusion of it instead of, and maybe they did, but when they bring it to you, it's as if they have celebrated the confusion of it, and they're coming to you for answers. And then as you begin to talk like, you right, and it's like, well, this is what happened. This is what was said. Mm-hmm. And then it makes you ask the question, who knows my heart?
Come on.
Yeah. It's a reminder that we have to wear these things as a loose garment.
Yeah.
The praise and accolades, you gonna be my pastor forever, or ain't nobody like you gotta wear that real loose. Yeah. Because I think that a hidden piece to this conversation is the impact that trauma has on the people. First of all, on us first, but then on the people that we're leading as well. With the exception of newborns and small children, and those that came straight off the street, a lot of people in our church have previous church experiences.
Yes.
I'm spoiled by the fact that the majority of my church experience was good. It was healthy. I didn't see abuse. I didn't see spiritual manipulation. That's not my story. And it's easy then to assume that my reality is everybody's. But the truth is, some of these people are coming. God sent them here. We love the hospital metaphor, and I get it. But some of these people are coming. God sent them here to heal. But if they're going to get healed, we have to address the fact that they're hurt. Wow. And sometimes that hurt is aimed at us because you remind me of somebody that hurt me. And as a consequence, sometimes it's so easy to believe or to see, I knew it. Because it takes you back, that trauma will take you back to a place. I knew this was too good to be true.
I knew it was coming.
It's always something. And so you gotta, again,
this is why I don't come to church.
This is why I don't come to church.
This is why I don't come to church.
I'm not the one that hurts you, but I might have a similar suit. I might have a similar stance. And so when people are aiming those accusations and hurts and why didn't you remember that it's not always you. Sometimes it's the seat that you sit in that has triggered them and taken them to a certain place.
And I think that goes back to trying to teach people how to, in a healthy way, handle relationships, whether they be godly or ungodly. And I mean that to say, whether that be your unsaved child, your unsaved spouse, your unsaved family member, or the people on your job. How do we as believers stay spiritually relational enough to be able to represent God in our covenant relationships? And I think that has to be stronger than just what we do in the church. This has to be something that spills over into everything that we handle. Because I'm gonna tell you, if you handle your if we handle our relationships in a godly way, we'll see more of our family get saved. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll see more of an impact on our jobs to bring about salvation. We'll see the testimony of our life begin to breed healthy results for the kingdom of God. But I think when we see a lack of people drawing people to Christ, I think that it also speaks to a brokenness within to be relational outside of the body as well.
Can we have a conversation about relationships without talking about the importance of us having relationship, dare I say, with ourselves? Because how many preachers don't know themselves outside of their office,
what they do,
outside of their itineraries? I'm the man of God. I'm big. I remember and still know people. You didn't even know so and so's name. That's bishop,
right?
That's pastor. Yeah. That's apostle. Who are we underneath? If the church closed down tomorrow and I'm stuck with me at the house, I'll be being very honest. COVID was a wake up call for me. I wasn't pastoring at the time, but just itinerant. When it wasn't no flights to get on, and it wasn't no services to go to, and no complications, I'm stuck at the house with me, and I had
nobody calling you pastor 100 times in the day.
Ain't none of that. So now I'm forced to do what does me like, so to speak? What interests me outside of the go? That's when I told you I took that road trip. Yeah. I just got in the car and just started driving. I said I want to know me. What do I? So much of who I am is embroiled in what I do, and I think that if we're going to be healthy leaders, healthy pastors, we have to have an awareness of us. That relationship here has to be intact.
You can't just be a steward of the gift and the title and the role. You have to be a steward of the man.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the people that we pastor. Know those who labor among you. We can't just be stewards of their gifts, but there has to be an appreciation for who they are as a person. And I think sometimes that's the disconnect, because people want to know sometimes, beyond what I can do for this church, what do I matter to you just as a person?
Yeah, I think that's why I can really just agree with you and Jacobs, that I thank God for Christabel.
Yeah.
She is so the perfect opposite of me, where I would be in church every night of the week, preaching or not, just because I enjoy it. She is so committed to life and knowing who she is that it forces me to confront that.
I remember, she balances you.
Oh, God, man. I remember, we were married 7 years before I started pastoring.
Wow.
And she used to tell me all the time, I didn't marry a pastor. I married you. I married the things that you like, and now you are integrating into our life this new church life. And I'm telling you now, I'm not complying. She was straight up. I'm gonna shave my head. I'm gonna get these tattoos. I mean, Christabel Clack. I'm going on the road.
Yeah.
I'm going to Israel when I feel like it. She was committed to that, and I remember when her heart changed towards the call of God that she decided that we were both mutually called to. But what I'm so glad she didn't lose was her identity outside of praise and worship, Pastor Christabel, and all of those things. It was a game changer, and it forced me to find out how much wrestling Brandon loves. Amen. So that's who I am, minus the preaching.
Yeah, he's a WWF, is it?
That's okay.
Is it
did
E?
the best you could. It's E.
It's WWE wrestler. Yeah. When I was growing up, it was WWF.
It was,
yes,
but you left
Federation.
WWE.
Yeah.
WrestleMania's coming to Las Vegas on Easter,
and you're not going,
guys.
You're not going.
No.
None of us are going.
It's okay.
No, you're gonna go to.
You're going to church.
He'll be at Reformation.
He's gonna be in his robe.
Are we going to WrestleMania?
No, I'm not going. You're not going.
No, it's 2 days.
Go
on Saturday.
Heroes.
No. That would be heartbreaking. No.
Just stay away altogether.
Stay away altogether.
Now, I was going to say this.
Saturday.
We'll all go together if you promise to go to church on Sunday.
Let's just not go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't just go to WrestleMania night 1.
It's like a convocation.
And then miss.
You got to be an official night.
Oh, yeah. No.
Convocation of tights.
Yeah.
You got to be there.
You didn't have to do that.
Tights.
You didn't have to do that.
That was unnecessary.
Have any of you ever been to a wrestling event?
Never
You ever
been.
No,
No, you haven't been.
Never been.
Youngers going to a game. And
I'm going to an NBA game.
Yep.
I finally get to go to my first one.
Are you serious? This is your first one?
It'll be my first one.
You're gonna have a ball. Which game are you going to?
I am going to watch the Golden State Warriors play.
That's Curry. Good.
because
My
he
son
said Steph
loves
Curry's
Steph Curry.
apostolic.
Steph Curry's grandfather is an apostolic pastor.
Oh,
Hallelujah.
Wear the
close
cross. Wear the cross.
Really? Oh, I like that.
And Youngers got a box.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, wow.
Wait, really?
That's our
You
stuff.
speaking for me, and you just
He's your
had that
translator. He
does
announcement. If you go, we're gonna all go. See, and then what'll happen is, Janelle says, "Didn't you say you could?" No, Brandon said I was going. I never said I was.
And we're going to go and we're going to go in the box. And we're going to get some wings. And
And I can see you coming trying to get in my box. And coming
Younger! Okay, here. Where the wings at? Yes, sir.
wings and cookies. And,
Rings and things.
and we're going to sit there and we're going to watch the game.
That's good. I ain't got but 2 tickets.
Well, what about the box?
Who said I never said I had a box?
He's gonna be on a
So you
date,
added-
man. He's on.
That's amazing.
I'm
With
going
his girlfriend.
I'm going to tell y'all who's going to
Well,
be.
his friend. I'm sorry.
I'm going to tell y'all who's going to be.
Girlfriend.
Hold on. I don't know what you
Would you,
about to say.
shall we? Hold on, Fat. We all go mute real quick.
Oh, so what he told us was we were going to.
Wait, did you black out the screen?
Well, thank you guys so much for watching our podcast tonight on relationships.
Wow.
You ready for crab legs?
He's ready to get off of this. Tell me he going on a date.
He said, "I'm giving y'all all I have to give on relationships."
Did y'all see how smooth he was though in shifting it to pastoral stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see?
He tried.
Oh, I'm going to talk about that.
Bishop,
I'm
do
gonna
you
talk
ever see yourself getting married?
Here we go.
I don't even pretend to know Okay. Right anymore. Because my life is nothing the way I thought it was going to be. I do believe it is a part of my future, but the timeline of that, I'm trusting God with that. My aunt told me one time, and she really spoke to me. She said, listen, I would rather you be married to the right person for the last 10 years of your life than have a 50th wedding anniversary married to the wrong person.
I love it.
And so my life has never been like, all of us have our own unique journeys.
Yeah.
I've learned to embrace where I am and be fulfilled in where I am, because the thing we need to discuss with individuals who desire to be married, there are people who have made an idol out of marriage.
Ooh, now that's good, young.
They've made an idol out of it. And to the point I hear it in marriage counseling. They say, see, I'm trying to fight for my marriage. I'm trying to fight. Well, you doing more trying to fight for your marriage or the idea of your marriage than the person that you're supposed to be married to.
Yeah.
And so, no, I'm embracing, I'm living a full life. I'm loving. I love people. I love relationships with people. I love being by myself, And so no, I'm definitely open. I want to. At some point, I do want to be married because I want to come out of all of this running the road. And all of this. Yeah.
Pastor Moore,
Yeah, please.
do you see yourself married?
Yes.
Okay.
I would just say yes.
You have any timelines?
Because if you said no, Mother Moore was going to jump through there and scream.
She's made it very clear to
There's
us.
a tussle season coming for you.
Yes, we are charged.
But no, I echo Bishop Younger gave phenomenal language for it. I need to be married. I want to be married. I have to. I will be married.
You better prophesy.
But
He said he needed.
Can we meet your
be married.
prospects?
Oh, gosh.
Is that okay? That's okay.
He said he
Hold on,
needed.
you're not getting married by faith. He has to have prospects. That's not sin.
yeah. The rest of the statement, however, is I don't know when because I don't know who.
Okay.
So that means
I
there's
can't
no
afford-
prospect.
No prospects right now.
Well, mind your business. But the point,
I don't know who I will marry.
Minister.
I don't know who I'm gonna tussle with. I don't know who.
No, I got a question.
I'm gonna put a ring on that finger. Whoa, but I'm glad.
Wow.
You'll be able to say you're glad that you.
I will. But to be clear, gotta get myself
Jacobs,
together.
myself, and Clack, we gonna continue to be happily married.
Well, no,
I love you, Kanisha.
and we want you to be happily married. I think
Yes.
what we're saying is we too, when that time comes, want to be happy. So it can't be, and I'll be very vulnerable here and transparent.
Sure.
All right.
Lay it on the table.
There's a fear,
Yes.
and it's I'm not saying this is right, but it's real. With the way the Lord is blessing certain areas of my life and breathing on projects, as I'm so consumed with what I'm doing and hand on the plow, part of the fear is back to even the whole me versus for the people, for the assignment. I can't afford to get the wrong one
You're right.
and tear up what me and the Lord done built.
Yeah.
I feel like me and the Lord got a good thing going on, and here she come messing stuff up. That's a concern. I don't want. I'm being I'm tired. So I gotta go.
tear it up.
I don't want to announce I do, and we went from 4 locations.
And you never
to,
get to I do, and it
Back to one.
I didn't.
I didn't. I don't. That's a fear. That's a fear. I want it to be right, and I don't want to have a first wife.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? I don't want to. I don't want to have a.
I'm with you, brother.
So yes, we're believing God.
You keep
My
digging
mama's in the
prayerfully.
comments right now. Take phone blowing up. I'm sure right now. Turn it over. Put it on silent. But yeah, it's got to be. I don't want a good wife. I want a God wife.
How do you all handle
powerful.
women coming to your churches for the wrong reasons? Just hoping you see them. You just ignore them?
I introduced him to my wife.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking
I don't
But
care.
I am
That
glad,
needed to be said, though.
I am glad Pastor Nate did respond, though, because a lot of times when we talk about the issues of single pastors with women,
So good.
we think it's isolated to single pastors.
Right. Right.
When sometimes it's just as much or sometimes increased when it comes to married pastors, because they see you modeling marriage with your spouse and they see how much you love your spouse. And sometimes that's enticing to them.
Yeah.
They're in love with that. And I think, and sometimes what it comes to when people talk about single pastors, they talk about pastors living a consecrated life. Because we all have like passions. We all have desires. But what we have seen in the kingdom of God over these last 3 decades, the issue has not been the fidelity or the infidelity of single pastors, has been married pastors. Because I believe the enemy really attacks married pastors because your marriages preach the gospel. Husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church.
That's good.
And so what sometimes the one thing we don't discuss out loud about is the issue of sexual purity. Let's talk about that. We need to be clear that sexual purity is not just a teaching for single people in the church. It's an issue for married people in the church.
Good.
So whether you're single or you're married, we still call to sexual purity.
Absolutely.
To biblical, posture in marriage, even in marriage. So
That was good. That was great.
Yeah, don't let these, to a male or female pastor, don't let the infatuation of people who fall in love with you, those of you who are married, make you forget they're just in love with the finished product of what your spouse has been
they don't
working
know
on.
you though, and they don't know. People are in like, oh, God told me you're my husband. You don't know me.
No.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, you don't know me.
So don't get so caught up and drunk in the attention that you fail to realize they don't know you. They don't want you. They like the idea of you. They like what you represent on paper.
When church is over,
who am I?
You got to come on with me.
You don't know.
Yeah.
And this is
the idea.
This is the unfair and the scary though part, Pastor Moore, is they are infatuated with us because they're attracted to the glory. They are attracted to what we represent. But this is the unfair part. And when I say unfair, it's our responsibility. We become responsible how we engage that.
That's it.
We have to see, we have to discern, hold on, it ain't me that you're after.
There you go.
I represent something, so now I must create that boundary. I don't get to take advantage of you offering yourself. The proximity.
That's
Just because
why
I have
Don't bite that
proximity,
bait.
I don't have permission.
let me tell you,
Don't bite the bait.
that's why I'm glad when I met Vivian, she did not know me.
Yeah.
Vivian met Brandon before she met Pastor Jacobs.
Same.
And she had not heard me preach. Because of the ministry she came from, I was really nervous for her to hear me preach. Because I'm like, she is not going to like my style of preaching. Because she come from, turn with me, guys. And, So I'm thinking, when she come over here with me, she going to be like, what is he doing? What is all that hollering? You understand what I mean? And,
asthma?
Right. And so, she had fallen in love with Brandon, only knew Brandon. And I was more so nervous about her meeting Pastor Jacobs because it wasn't the guy that you dated. You know what I mean? We laughing and joking at the table. And at church, it's like, is he dancing? I didn't want her to see me. When she first came, I was scared to shout.
Really?
Yeah, because she did.
So when it hit you, what did you do? Did you
Shuffle.
Trying to be, cool. I don't think I shouted. I think I waited.
You withheld your praise.
Well, I was carnal, it was in my flesh because she there. And then her friends was there. That's worse when all your friends come with you.
And what were they saying again?
It's like, girl,
Them friends was everywhere now.
he need a bigger
Yeah,
church.
good friends.
My God.
He need a bigger church is rude.
I'm joking. I don't know what they said. I'm making that up, but
That's good.
That's what blessed me because I had a confidence that she loves Brandon.
Yeah.
And when you're in that place and they see you in the glory of pastor, elder, bishop, prophet, whatever that is, you're nervous that they're only going to love that and not give room for who you really are.
To Bishop Younger's point, though, as well, I think that there has to be an expectation of grace then that is extended for what some would deem as being aloof or being separated. Sometimes it's not grand. It's self-preservation.
Yes.
Well, how come he not out here? Some Sundays is not a hug everybody Sunday.
Come on.
No, because I looked at that line and I know why you want to hug. Nah, that's no.
It ain't the wrap around the neck hug, is it?
Look,
Pastor, how you doing?
hey,
You got a rapper on the nigga?
our church is very young.
My God.
With people that are not, we do.
Hey, Mark. Mark.
And they could probably grab a hold of you before you see it coming.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Y'all
it's,
stop hugging Pastor Moore around the neck.
Well, no, I'm
Don't
not
you
trying
do
to.
that, saints. You hug him from the thigh.
And free the waist and all.
I'm not trying to. I'm not
Breast to
trying to.
breast. That's not how we do this.
What?
This is holiness.
Free that waist.
Jacob. Well, you know what? I think that's a good point, a good place. I think that's a good line in the sand to draw. I'm gonna ask the musicians to play softly.
Thank you for joining us tonight
I'm gonna ask the
on our
musicians.
relationship preacher talk.
Yeah, we're gonna ask the musicians to play softly. Can I get the organ?
They're on their way to the front.
We're gonna stop talking.
Put the organ in the monitors.
Younger's going back to his radio host then.
Yeah, that's it.
Give us the country accent.
Praise the Lord, everybody. No, this is Sunday night broadcast music.
That is what it sounds like, though. That's how you sound.
That country accent.
Yeah. The musicians have started playing, which tells us that it's time to end this service. We've had a phenomenal time, and we are just full tonight. We've had a good time. We pray that you have been blessed. Go to this camera right here. We pray that you have been blessed, that you've been encouraged. If you have not liked, like. If you haven't shared, share. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. We want to be a weekly highlight on your calendar, Monday nights at 8, as we seek to bring information, inspiration, and even a dash of impartation. I'm Pastor Mark Moore. This right here over here is Pastor Nathaniel Green. This is Bishop Brandon.
And God.
God bless you.
Maybe next time. He's getting there. This is, of course, Apostle Brandon Clack. And this, of course, is Bishop S.Y. Younger. We've had a good time tonight. We love you. We'll see y'all next time. Take the Lord along with you. Everywhere you go. You're going to need him.
I tell you.
You're going to need him. Everywhere you go. We'll see y'all next week. Listen, it has been another amazing week. Thank you for your shares. Thank you for your tags. But remember, go download Hoop Triggers Plus.
Right
now. It is
now.
the perfect tool. Win?
Right now.
Win?
Right now.
Win?
Right now.
Even now. It's the perfect tool. In fact, Pastor Green, because we've got so much victory with this app, just sing us out of here. Sing us out of here.
Oh, victory. That's not it. It's on a reprise.
Well, as you can see, you need to go download it. He won't be coming with the app, but go get it anyways. We'll see you next time. Peace.
We love y'all. We out of here.